The phrase is coach killer. That player is a coach killer. I'm Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys. I've got a Cowboy player for you that is a coach keeper, a coach maker, except for last year when a couple members of the coaching staff killed themselves in terms of their Dallas career by not understanding that. This player is Randy Gregory. And I will always remember co-hosting on 105.3 The Fan one morning, and we had Jerry Jones on. I believe it was Sean Sharif and myself. And this was on a Tuesday, and I knew what had happened in a Monday meeting. The Joneses traditionally have a Monday staff meeting after the game. They sit down with all the coaches. They kind of listen in. They ask questions, whatever. And I knew that the question had been asked by Jerry after Randy Gregory had had yet another good game. Why don't we play him more? And the coaching staff didn't have a very good answer. And so I asked Jerry about it on live radio on Tuesday, and he said, yeah, you're right on the money. That's exactly what happened. I did ask that question, and I'm paraphrasing now, and the answers were unsatisfactory. Randy Gregory was as explosive and productive as any member of this defense in 2020. He participated in 10 games, obviously coming off the suspension, and started none of them. That's about to change. When I list the reasons why defensive coaches Mike Nolan and the coordinator and Jim Tomsula, defensive line, lost their job, the mismanagement of Gregory is high on the list. They will not mismanage Gregory this year. Randy Gregory will be a starter in 2021. There's no way around it. He's 28. He played part-time last year and had 3.5 sacks, good, 16 quarterback pressures, very good, and 3 forced fumbles, showing incredible athleticism in chasing ball carriers, remember? And only twice did he play 40 snaps in a game. Jerry's answer that day to me was in the affirmative, and his answer was ominous. And now Nolan isn't here anymore, and Tomsula isn't here anymore. Mike McCarthy still is, but a lesson was learned. Jerry's answer was ominous for the coaching staff, and I knew that. But Jerry's answer was also promising. It demonstrated that this owner recognized, and again, we don't have to have the football Jerry argument. I think we all get it by now. But I'm looking out on the field and I'm watching Randy Gregory dominate, and then I'm going into the meeting room and hearing that the Cowboy coaches, some of them, like Dorrance Armstrong better than they like Randy Gregory. Now, what are we doing here? And this isn't an insult against Dorrance Armstrong. I must say about him, I think that draft pick is working out well. That was a non-premium pick. He's on the football team the last couple of years. And something else about Dorrance Armstrong. How many big-bodied defensive ends play on kickoff coverage? Like none? But he does. So the athleticism is there, and the size is there, and the stick-to-itiveness is there. So this isn't a deal about bashing Dorrance Armstrong. But Mike McCarthy last year supervised a defensive staff that, generally speaking, liked Dorrance Armstrong better than Randy Gregory, and so Randy Gregory didn't get to play. Not near enough. Forget start. He didn't even get to play enough. He's been suspended 4 times since he turned pro in 2015. That makes him a we can't count on him kind of guy. Except, what's the difference whether or not he's the second defensive end in the rotation, or the third, or the fourth? If he gets suspended again, and God bless him, I hope that doesn't happen. All indications are that he's doing, and I've talked to him about this, he's done everything. If there was a 12-step program, he entered it as he was working his way through this thing. He's gone through some pain, and he's paid his dues, and his demons seem to be manageable. And I don't use that term loosely. We all have some of that. His caused him to get suspended 4 times in 5 years. Caused him to not be able to do a job that he loves to do. But now, count on him. And if it doesn't work, then fine. Then you could play Dorrance Armstrong if you like him so much. Marcia's cat. And by the way, as long as I'm doing sidebars, I love this hat, but I can't get I'm gonna have to put this brim in the dishwasher with a rubber band or whatever we used to do when we were kids. No, I don't want a flat brimmed hat. What am I, 10? Thank you for subscribing to what we do here. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're on the verge of 22,000 of us, and I'm very proud that you're a part of what we do here, and very proud that we can bring you what we bring you here from inside your Dallas Cowboys. Starting right defensive end Randy Gregory in 2021. They switched to a 4-3. That's a natural for him. 3-4 maybe wasn't the most natural thing for him. Of course, it wasn't the most natural thing for Tank Lawrence either. And they did it anyway. I think part of the idea of Randy Gregory starting might be that Aldon Smith is a free agent. And as I've told you here, I don't know that he's as sure a returnee as so many other people think. I might be the only guy writing. I don't know, because I don't think this worked out for him perfectly, and he has a right to look for a perfect spot now. Talk about paying his dues. He did it. Signed a 1-year contract. Didn't make very much money, and now he gets to shop himself. Good for him. Plus, he kind of fits in a 3-4 better. That might be one of the things that Aldon Smith looks for. But one way or the other, Randy Gregory needs a start. Part of this is Aldon Smith. Part of this is 4-3. Part of this is Mike McCarthy's coaching staff needs to evaluate their players better and realize that Dorrance Armstrong does not deserve playing time ahead of Randy Gregory. Not if you're trying to win games. There was no personnel reason, no personnel-related reason for the McCarthy-Nolan defense to be historically poor as it was. Not a personnel reason. Their personnel was not the worst personnel in Cowboys history on defense. And it wasn't the worst personnel in the NFL. But they played like it. Why do you think that is? Now here comes Dan Quinn. You bookend Gregory with Tank. You cut them loose in a 4-3. And this would be a great way for Dan Quinn to not only put his stamp on what they do, but to last a little longer around here than his predecessor did. Don't play Randy Gregory. That is a coach killer. If you are a coach, why do you want to coach kill yourself? Again, in our conversations over the years with Stephen Jones, he is very frank. You know how much Jerry has great affection for Randy Gregory. He took the SAT. He's the highest SAT score. I don't know about all that. Jerry likes to make it sound like Randy Gregory is the smartest person to ever play with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know about that. But he's very bright, and he's very talented, and I'm very proud and happy for him that he's got things steered in the right direction. Now the coaching staff needs to get out of his way and let him steer himself towards the quarterback. So Jerry has that affection, and Stephen has those reservations. Boy, isn't that a perfect analogy, if you will, a portrait painted of Calculator Stephen and Wildcat and Jerry. Stephen saying, well, you can't totally count on Randy. And Jerry saying, I love him. He's the smartest human I've ever met. Calculator Stephen, Wildcat, and Jerry. Not playing Gregory last year got people fired. Playing Gregory this year figures to help Dallas win more than 6 games and figures to help coaching staff members keep their jobs. We've got Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson numbers for you, contractual and stuff. And then this, exclusive coming up on Dak's rehab. You'll get this nowhere but here. Spread the word. Let it be known. Exclusive on your Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott's rehab. Scoop coming up with the fish. Fish out.